Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and this is a different video than usual. Normally it's gameplay and stuff. This is a overview and summary of my trip to Vancouver for the Battlerealm Brawl. I have a rough idea of how I want the video to go. I've got some photos and videos lined up, but I don't have a script, so I may end up rambling a little bit or straying off the course, but bear with me. I wanted it to be a little bit more from the heart than writing out just a whole script. So I kind of wanted to start with just around 2013, a bit about why I ended up going to the Brawl in the first place. And in 2013 I was 14 and my parents were a bit annoyed with how much I was playing video games, and they said to me, if we'll challenge you to not go on video games for a whole year, and if you can do that, then we'll put some money towards an iPad. And I saved up part of the iPad cost throughout that year. I played no video games, and at the end of the year for Christmas I got the other half of the iPad, and I opened the App Store on Christmas Day. I went straight to games, and the first thing I saw was my favourite Marvel characters beating each other up. I saw Thor's Special 3, he hit Iron Man, and I thought, yep, this looks awesome. I downloaded the game and uninstalled it about 3 weeks later, but then a few weeks after that I reinstalled it, and I've been playing ever since, pretty much every day since then, in some form or other. It kind of makes me think that my parents' idea of getting me to play less video games didn't work out too well. But I've been playing MCOC since pretty much the beginning. I think I missed out on the earliest title possible by a few weeks. And I've been in lots of different alliances. I've made lots of different friends. I still remember my first friends that I made in the game. I remember the first big alliance that I was in. When I say big, I mean like one that meant a lot to me and I made friends with. It was called Redemption. I eventually ended up at one called GOMV, which is the one that I was in before I moved to SSX. I've got a lot of friends there. You guys all know who you are. I'm still in touch with a lot of them, but SSX is probably the most special alliance to me in the game. I have so many close friends there, and I don't think I'd have even gone to the Brawl if not for them. And I guess just as I'm showing this picture of us all at the Brawl there, this is the main reason I tell you to go to the Brawl. This is one of the best parts of it for me. Is meeting all these friends that you've known for years. You've been talking to them online for however long. You've spent days stressing about war or enjoying different parts of the game, probably not AQ, but other parts of the game all together, and you make some really close friends in this game. There's like I said, you're talking to these people day after day after day, and to meet up with them and to really just enjoy the time together is a very special moment for me. But on to the actual event itself. I got asked by MSD and Legacy, who are two of my close friends in the game, to join them in their B&B along with Andrew the Rough and Captain Bay, both of whom I didn't really know that well at the time, but since then we've become really good friends. And MSD and myself and Lags and myself, I think our friendships have only got closer, and I don't think I could have chosen a much better group of guys to spend a good long weekend with. It was a lot of fun in the B&B. We had a lot of good times, a lot of funny stories. We did the stream on the second night of the Brawl, where we all went on Legacy's stream and opened up some crystals. I got myself Sauron, Joe Fixit, and Elsa Bloodstone, all of which are very good champions. I'm happy with Sauron, maybe less, but we've just seen that he's going to be the defense tactic next season, so can't be all bad. And one night after some drinks with a lot of people, we got back very drunk. I think this was the last night, and Legacy, Andy, and we all did a drunk crisp or chip review if you're American, and I do not remember a single bit of that. I'll leave a link here just so you can go and watch it if you haven't seen it already, but I don't remember a bit of it. I woke up in the morning and was reminded about it, and I just thought, oh my god, what did I say? And watching it back was a roller coaster because I didn't remember any of it, and it was very, very funny. But as for the main reason of going to this brawl, the actual brawl itself, the competition was so fun to watch. I just had an absolute blast. It was great sitting with friends and just watching Battlegrounds. I love Battlegrounds. I've participated in a few of Vega's tournaments, and in the past I've taken it very seriously. Recently, less so, but I still absolutely love it as a game mode. And just watching live these incredibly skilled players go at each other and try and become, the best in the realm. It was just really fun to watch. Looking through their drafts, watching their strategies, watching their fights, and seeing both a Titania and a Valkyrie fight at the same time was a very special moment for me. I loved it. I yelled out when the draft came up. So that was a good moment. I really love the way they did equal rosters, allowing some variation depending on what each competitor really liked to use. You could rank up certain champs, you could choose them as 7 stars, you could put SIGs into them, but everyone had the same strength roster, which was a great way to have an equal playing field. And I think it paid off because firstly it was really interesting to see what people chose, and then it was also just really close matches the whole way through. And then just a huge congrats to Fintech. I'll be showing the final moments of his fight on screen at the moment. And yeah, it was just a fantastic moment. He was down the whole fight, and then suddenly at the very end, Pepe just mistimes a falter and gets hit, and the crowd just goes wild, and Finn just looks so relieved, and it was a great moment. I'm really glad I was there to be able to see it. And then we also managed to grab a picture there at the end. Been speaking to Finn for a fair bit these past few years. We have a lot of the same champions that we like in Valk and Kate and Spidey Supreme, and I don't think he'll want me telling you this, but I suggested a lot of these champs to him, and he ended up just absolutely destroying with them. So yeah, little claim to fame there. As for the brawl itself, it was just an amazing atmosphere there. Everyone was just milling around. If you've seen any of the vlogs, and I'll leave a couple links to some of the vlogs that I've seen, it's a really nice atmosphere there. Everyone's chatting with each other in between the rounds. When you're sitting down and watching it, it's really tense. I don't think the audio came through on the stream, but everyone was shouting and cheering whenever anything happened. And every so often, someone would shout out for their specific champion, like DLL, who designed Absorbing Man, shouted out, "That's my boy," when Carl just destroyed this Terax. Cat Murdoch was shouting when Yondu was on screen. And I, of course, whenever Titania popped up, I was quite excited. The commentators did a fantastic job. They were all incredibly good. Mike, DLL, Jordan, and Dragon, all fantastic. And then afterwards, outside, when the fights were done, for Loki, actually, the Alliance had a matchup against us, SSX, while we were out there. And we're very close alliances, so we don't usually like fighting each other, but if it's going to happen anywhere, I'd want it to happen while we were all together and can laugh about it and encourage each other, because it was a really nice atmosphere. So afterwards, one of the fights, Andy sat down and started to do his war fight. It was the boss, it was Mantis versus Photon, and a bunch of 4 Loki, a bunch of SSX, and a bunch of bystanders, onlookers were watching, and everyone was just cheering him on and pretty much gasping when things go wrong and cheering when things go right. But it's a little annoying because the one time I make a joke that says, I said, "Go on, get him, Photon." That's the only thing you can actually hear from me in the whole video, so it just sounds like I'm the only one that's not supporting him. But I promise, for the rest of it, I was completely backing him. We wanted to win, but I didn't want to see my buddies die. And next, I'm just going to go through like a few pictures that I have and a few personal anecdotes. there were so many incredible moments. I could genuinely talk for 2 hours about all of the different people that I met and all of the different funny things that happened, the amazing things that happened. So if I miss out anything or miss out anyone, please know that it's not that it means anything other than I need to make this video at least slightly reasonable on time. But yeah, we'll start off with the one, the only Kabam Jax. What a wonderful guy. He's just as bouncy and warm as he is on the stream, so it was really nice to meet him. MSD and myself, we independently both brought flannel shirts, only realizing it at the B&B, and then we coordinated to both wear flannel on the same day, and we just had to get a picture with the flannel guy. And then next, I've got a picture of myself and Karate Mike and Seaton Man of Legends. And this just felt a bit surreal for me. We were all just, there was a big bunch of us hanging out around this Kabam board where a lot of people were taking photos. And I think Mike came up to him and was just like, hey, should we grab a picture? And then Seaton jumped in, and, it just felt really, really odd that people were like asking me to have photos, and not just people, but like Mike and Sita, these YouTubers that I've been watching for years and years. And yeah, it was just, everyone was so normal. Like, there was no need to be starstruck at all by the people that you've been watching on YouTube for so long. Like, these two are literal celebrities of MCOC, and they're just normal, awesome dudes. Literally, before the brawl started, the day before, there was a bit of a dry run, a rehearsal, and all the competitors went along and they got their shirts and they practiced and they made sure that everything was set up properly. And I was kind of just chilling on my own because I was with Andy and Lags, and we'd headed over. MSD and Bay weren't there yet, so yeah, we went over. And while all the competitors went off to do their practice run, I was sat on the chairs where everyone was sat during the tournament, just watching some of the gameplay because they were doing some tests. And suddenly someone sits next to me. I look over and it's Seaton, and he just sits down, says, "Hi, you're right, mate." And I introduced myself, and he recognized me a little bit from the CCP and a little bit from YouTube, and then we just have like an hour and a half chat about the game economy, our favorite champions, what we like about the game. I mean, we've both been playing for a fair while, so nostalgia about the old days. And yeah, it was just a really cool moment. Just, it's nice to know that all of these people are pretty much just exactly like they are on stream. I don't think I met a single person that didn't feel warm and welcoming and friendly. It was a really special moment. And I've known Mike for a little bit now, not too long. Probably since I joined the CCP, we've been chatting a little bit more. We have very similar champ loves. We both like our Rincher and our Cersei and Titania. And I met him, I introduced myself, and because, nobody really knew my face, I introduced myself and he was like, "Oh, it's Bittersteel." And he came over and just gave me the biggest hug. And I was like, what a lovely, lovely man. And yeah, it was great. And next up, we have 3 really cool guys who decided that was a good pose for a photo. MSD, Seaton, and myself. This was fun. We ended up being a little trio, especially at the summit. We went to do the raids together, and we were in the same group, taking down, Thanoses and Kangs and Maestros like it was nothing. But yeah, we spent a lot of time hanging out, and it was really good fun. After one of the days, a big group of us headed to a bar to get some drinks, and MSD doesn't drink, but we all ordered some Bellinis, which were, I have no idea what, but they were very nice and very alcoholic. And we ended up just playing some tipsy/drunk BGs all around the table, which was really good fun. And I also just really liked spending time with MSD. He's just such a good kid. our friendship goes back to when Titania was added. I messaged him asking for advice after I saw his guide, and since then we've become pretty good mates. But bunking together for a few days really helped strengthen a friendship. So he's someone that I'll hopefully be calling a friend for life. Really good guy. We had a lot of laughs, some terrible puns, and I lent him a hand when it was his birthday. We went to drinks in the bar with about 20 of us, I think. That was a really fun night, but we got everyone singing happy birthday to him, and the staff brought out a shot for him. But like I said earlier, MSD doesn't drink, so I got tagged in for that one, and I did the shot for him. And if that doesn't showcase what sort of a friend I am, then I don't know what will. And by that, I just mean one that will take a free drink. And then next up, this is probably one of the more memorable relationships I've made through the trip. This is Simula. When I was in the airport, or on the way to the airport, on the way out to Vancouver, I got a message from him online just saying, hey, while you're at the airport or whatever, could you maybe grab some English candy or sweets for my kids? They'd love to try some. And I said, yeah, no worries. I'll pick some up on the way through, and I did. I think I got some fruit pastels and wine gums and maybe jelly babies. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it might have been something like that. And I brought them over, and I didn't realise, but Sim got me some stuff from Pittsburgh as well. And one of the things was a terrible towel. I had no idea what it was, and when I looked at Sim with my blank expression of thank you for giving me this yellow towel, he explained that it was kind of like a souvenir of his American football team, the Steelers. And they take it to games and they wave it around, and it was a really nice gesture. And he also got me some snacks from where he's from as well, some chocolate covered popcorn, which was really good, and I ate it all in one sitting and then felt very guilty. But yeah, this was a really nice gesture from him, and I really appreciate you, Sim. And I also was just so happy to meet one of my favourite people, Brendan B. McGee. It was such an honour to meet him. He's such a lovely guy. We've become quite close friends over the last however long, and it was lovely to meet him in person. He's such a nice dude. He helped me so much with all my YouTube. I go to him with thumbnail and content questions all the time. He helped me get my computer that I'm using to do better YouTube videos, and yeah, he's always receptive to help out, and just a lovely person. I can't imagine anyone ever having a bad word to say about him. I'm a little sad we didn't get more chances to talk throughout this weekend, but like I said, next year, make it happen. But I think that goes for a lot of people. Like, I didn't have, 10% of the time I wanted with any one person. There's just not enough time in these 3 or 4 days to really spend with all these amazing people. When I got back, I think that someone asked were there any bad experiences from the brawl, or was there anything we could do to make it better, or something along those lines. And I just answered, you could have made it like a week long. And that's about it. It was perfect. As for the summit itself, it was fantastic. It was really cool. They had this neat little screen when we walked in. It was playing different champ trailers, I think like a Spidey one and a Deadpool one. It was really fun. Then we went up in the elevator and went out to the main room. I didn't get many pictures myself, but I'm sure you've seen all the live streams at this point. And then this is the picture of us all together. I'm over on the right there, on the middle, on the bottom row. And it was really fun. I was sat with MSD and DLL. And to DLL, I can only apologise for asking about 15 questions during the Kushala deep dive. I hope he forgives me. And it was such a good moment watching MSD light up like a little kid on Christmas when the Necropolis launch was shown on the screen. Honestly, I've never seen someone so excited in my life. The different booths were so fun to go around and visit. There was a Kushala and Shield testing place. There was a Beat the Boss challenge. There was Challenge the Devs in BGs. There was a Necropolis sector, which I don't think we could drag MSD away from if we tried. But that was good fun. I waited in the queue and let the queue go ahead because it was quite busy to try and read the nodes. I got halfway through them, and 10 minutes later I was nudged by the person behind me asking if I was going to go because the queue had ended before I'd managed to read most of the nodes. So I went in and died many times. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing Necropolis. When I'm recording this, we're a few hours away from it starting, so it's going to be exciting. One of the highlights for me was getting a werewolf from the spinning wheel. I managed to get a 6-star werewolf, and he is now ascended and rank 5 on my account. I love him to bits. I think he's so fun. Yeah, that was a really cool moment. And just the general atmosphere there was so nice. I think because so many YouTubers were there, it seemed like it was a bit of a YouTube-only event. And while there were a lot, it really wasn't the case. If you're thinking about going next time, really do consider it. Everyone was so welcoming. I think I hope I speak for any YouTuber or whatever when I say that they'd be happy to have a chat with anyone. I had a few people come up to me and recognize my name, maybe from the forums, maybe from YouTube or whatever, or recognize the person I was with and just ask a question. I had someone come up and ask advice for a warfight that they needed to take today, and I can't remember who exactly it was, but it was a big mystic on a knockdown debuff immune node, and we chatted through and we recommended Quicksilver, and he was very happy for the advice. That was a really cool moment. But yeah, everyone's just so receptive of having a chat. Like, we're all there for the video game that we love. Speaking personally, you can't shut me up about it. So yeah. And next up, this selfie that Kabam Mike took of myself, Sim, MSD, and Seaton. He posted it on his Twitter, so I think I'm famous now. I just kind of want to say thanks to Mike. I know he put so much work in, and to anyone who had a role in making this thing happen. It's something that I will genuinely remember for the rest of my life. I'm so grateful that I managed to go, and yeah, I made lifelong friends. I had wonderful experiences. It really does feel like a once in a lifetime experience, but hopefully that changes when it's next year and we manage to go again. But yeah, Mike is just a really lovely guy. We had a really nice chat after the summit when we got some drinks. All of us went to a bar, and yeah, we had a great chat. I don't think there's anyone in this community that cares as much about the game as Kabam Mike does. He's constantly fighting to make it better and put on amazing events like this. So yeah, just a huge thanks to Mike there. And then on the final night, after the finals themselves, everyone headed to a bar to go and have some drinks and celebrate and wish Finn congratulations and try and get him drunk, which I think was managed in the end a little bit. But yeah, we were at the bar for all these drinks, and I unfortunately had to take all of my war fights. And this was the war against 4 Loki that I mentioned earlier. So I was sat in the corner, nursing my drink because I didn't want to be, I wanted to be a little bit on the ball for it. And I was going through the map, taking my fights, and every so often someone would come up and say, "Hi, how you doing?" And I'd just be like, "I really want to speak to you right now. Please just give me like 10 minutes. I'm just taking this fight, or, I'm just taking this Ridra boss. Give me a second." I didn't die, which is the main thing. And yeah, we had a close call. I had to full dex Gore's SB2 at one point, but you know, if you can manage that when you're a few drinks down, you kind of feel on top of the world. But yeah, this night was so fun. I had such amazing chats with a lot of amazing people. Spoke to Na and DLL, spoke to Kat, and I just said how amazing her art was because she's done some emojis for the channel, so I thanked her in person for that. Spoke to Karate Mike again. We had a great chat, and then I can't speak for him, but I know I was very drunk and I challenged him to some BGs, so we did some BGs in the bar, which was good fun. But yeah, the night had to end at some point, and a lot of people were saying goodbye then, so it was tough. It was difficult because you don't know when, if ever, you're going to see these people again. I mean, I really hope I do, but you've got no guarantee, so it's a tough one, and it just obviously really makes me hope that we can do it again. So at this point, most people's trips ended. I think most people headed back home. I mean, we got back, and that's when we did the drunk chip tasting, and MSD headed off early that morning. I think he was getting up when we were doing that, so apologies if you had to see that. And then most people headed home, but I decided to make a bit more of a trip out of it, and I stayed another couple of weeks. The day after the brawl, I went with DLL and Na. We went with both of their significant others. We went whale watching, which was really, really special. I've always wanted to do it. It's been something on the bucket list for a little while, and yeah, we saw some pretty amazing things. I'm not sure what exactly I'm going to be showing at this point, but we saw some dolphins, which was fantastic. We saw some humpback whales. We saw some seals and sea lions, and yeah, it was just a really special trip. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to throw in a picture of a sunset because I'm super artsy like that. But I was really glad to do it, and glad I got some great company as well. And after this, I headed over to Whistler, the national park. It's a couple hours away from Vancouver, and it is just one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in the world. This isn't MCOC related, so I'll skip over this as fast as I can, but in the background, I'm going to throw up some pictures that I took of all of the stunning lakes and mountains and all of that jazz. It just, again, really makes me want to go back and explore more of it. I did a 8 or 9 hour hike all around every single lake in the area, and yeah, it was just a really special week to spend there. I also managed to go to the Squamish Lilwat Cultural Centre, which is about the First Nations people who lived in Canada for hundreds of thousands of years. It was really interesting to learn about the different cultures, but I also kind of went because Chielth is out at the moment, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about her because Kabam actually spoke to the SLCC about Chielth and about her creation and inspiration, and I thought it'd just be really cool to learn a bit more about the character, so that was a really nice experience. I also saw a bear, and then I had a bird try and steal my croissant, so that was when I knew it was time to go. Then for the last week, I headed back to Vancouver. I saw a concert of someone that I'd wanted to see for a while, Declan McKenna, and that was really good fun. Then I went to see an ice hockey game, which was kind of frantic and a lot going on, but it was good fun. I like my sport, so it was fun to see a different type of sport, and it was a good spectacle. It was a good experience. I'm glad I did go. And the last thing that I managed to do in Vancouver was one of the highlights of my trip was I spoke to some of the Kabam champion designers who I knew through the CCP, but also that I met and chatted to during the brawl, specifically Honeydew. You'll know his hits like Cassie and Mantis. we managed to organise some drinks together. So a few from the Champion Design team and myself, we all went to a pub and did a trivia night, which was good fun. And then we just chatted MCOC the whole night. It was really fun. It was a great experience. They're all just lovely people. I went out with Honeydew, like I said. There was also Mimic, Set, Skippy, and Lex. So a range of champs there that I love, like Valkyrie, Titania, Werewolf, Mantis, Cassie, Spider-Man OG. I got to gush about these champions all evening to the people who designed it, which was a really cool experience. There was this great moment when I realised that I was sat with the designer of Valkyrie to my left and the designer of Titania to my right, and I was just kind of like a little kid. It was so fun. The designer of Valkyrie actually had found out that I was the first ever Ascended Valkyrie in the game, the first ever 6-star Ascended Valkyrie in the game, and because of that he bought me a pint, which was really cool of him, and I returned the favour a bit later, but that was a really cool moment. Then I chatted with the designer of Titania, and it turns out he's subscribed to the channel, so hey Seth, if you're there. He spoke to me and said that the Titania versus Nick, where I cheesed the second life, that was a really cool video, and I had to admit that was Karate Mike's idea, not mine, but it was just another really cool moment. But just a massive thanks to those guys. It was a really fun night, and I enjoyed chatting to them. It really just puts into perspective that these guys are just people that love the game as well. Like, I know it's very easy to just think of Kabam as this, blob of corporate money-making greed and whatever, and I know a lot of people do think of them that way, but it's made up of a lot of Marvel nerds, gaming nerds, and just great people. I mean nerd with respect, I am one as well, and these people just love the game. They love designing champions for the game, they love designing content for the game. Spoke to some quest designers, love their perspectives as well. They all just love it, and they want it to be around as long as possible, and so do we. They love playing it, and so do we. It's just, it's a great bunch of people. It doesn't mean that they always do everything right. I mean, nobody does. But I think we could all just be a tiny bit more appreciative of the fact that everyone loves the game, and we all want it to succeed. But yeah, that is my whole trip. It was, like I said before, it's the trip of a lifetime that I'm hoping to repeat next year. I will be personally absolutely hounding my friends that didn't go this year to make it out for next year, because it's just such a nice group of people to be around, and I'll be really trying to throw my support behind this event happening again through the CCP. And if you're debating it and have the means to, I would really urge you to seriously consider going. It was a very special experience, and I don't think I've heard a single person say a bad thing about it. To anyone that I might have left out of this video, I'm seeing that I've already recorded like 40 minutes of me talking, so I'm going to have to edit this down. I apologise if I'm missing you out. Anyone that I had a conversation with, it meant a hell of a lot to me. It was fun, it was great, and everyone was so lovely, so thank you. That's a generic thank you to everyone. And every experience that I've had just makes having played this game for this long just so worth it. I don't think I've ever really loved the game as much as I do right now, and it just makes me incredibly glad that I went onto the App Store and Thor was beating up Iron Man. So yeah, that is going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.